So here's my thing, I think, now that I'm watching again a CNN video about Senator Cory Booker, I believe. I mean, what a douchebag, in a sense. Like, okay, so here he is calling Trump a bigot, right? So, just using that word in itself, isn't that also mean that you would be a bigot? Because you're not tolerant of his views, regardless of what views it is. It's intolerance of views. It doesn't say intolerance of views if you're a left-winger or a right-winger. It says intolerance of views, full stop. Others' views, full stop. So he calls Trump a bigot because he has specific views. I don't get it. Trump, to me, is an elected official, so he's not covered by divine right. So he has a right to be partial. Divine right in today's society, yes, you have the obligation to be impartial, but not as an elected official. You can be partial. As an elected official running for that office, you're partial to start with because you're right-wing, left-wing, conservative, non-conservative, moderate, whatever you are, you're still partial to something. And even if you're partial to nothing, that's still, you know, being partial to something because it's nothing. So that's what I don't get by, you know, him calling Trump a bigot because of Trump's views. Like, obviously, whatever he thinks he says, which I think is great. I think it's about time for someone not to be politically correct. His political correctness bullshit is getting out of hand. Now, granted, I used to be a left-wing kind of, you know, a little too far left, actually, at points in my life when I was younger, probably early 20s. But, you know, late 30s, I'm way right. And there's reason for it because it's the right way to be. This whole thing with the immigration thing about this DACA kids and that bullshit. Here's my issue with it. So, if you look at, let's say, Bernie Madoff's kids, Kenneth Lay from Enron, his kids, all these other people's kids, right? Their parents did something illegal, but they didn't. Do you think these kids suffer for it? They do. Either the stigma because of what's behind the name and people know who their parents were, or they suffer because, yes, they don't have a life that they're used to be accustomed to. And people are going to bitch and say, oh, that's white privilege. But so what if that's the life that they were accustomed to and that's the life they live? Well, they no longer get to live it because their parents did something illegal. So these DACA kids, their parents did something illegal. So shall we just say, oh, well, let's not worry about it? It's like, let's say a family member of the Kardashians, which I think are one of the most pathetic families on earth. Let's say one of them actually did something that really shocked somebody and really was immoral, as if they haven't done enough. But let's say they did. It would tarnish their name, right? And so that family's name would be tarnished because of it. Obviously, we know in society now that we can't do anything to tarnish the name, no matter what they do, no matter how much of, you know, sluts they are, disgusting, low class, ignorant people. They really can do no wrong, so it really doesn't matter. But that's the point. The point is that if you could tarnish it, right, it would be tarnished. You know, say Adolf Hitler. Let's say there was kids that had the surname Hitler, right? People would be mad and say, oh, well, they would associate that with Adolf Hitler of, you know, Nazi Germany. And they would still associate that name with that person and those ideals, regardless of who these people are. And not saying it's his children, or it's going to affect his children, because it's not his children. But just the name, I'm just saying in a general point that it will affect things. So same thing, you do something illegal, it affects you. Like if my parents were to, you know, be selling drugs or to be, you know, do all these horrible things when we were kids, it would affect us because they did something illegal. It affects me. So why am I different if my father does something illegal and has every cent taken away and I have no inheritance? Why is that okay?
Sounds a little bit esoteric, but I was
right?
Instrumental in putting together the policy process at the White House.
But
so there were a series of meetings within the interagency at various levels.
These DACA kids, their parents did something illegal, so it affects them.
In some cases, I participated.
That's what I don't get.
Deputy as the
it affects them.
Chiefs of staff.
Your parents do something that's just I don't get it. I cannot reiterate it enough. Your parents do something illegal, it's going to affect you. Doesn't matter what kind of, illegal act or illegal whatever they do, it affects you.
I believe so.
So these kids are not protected. Too damn bad. Get over it. Oh, and then I gotta say another shout out to Ann Coulter, love her. She's just to the point. She knows exactly what she says, and you know what? There is no arguing with these fucking idiots that are lefties. There's no arguing with them because they can't form a, sentence. They can't speak. They can't do anything, and they can't back anything up. But they're called someone a bigot or a racist. When it has nothing to do with racism, it has nothing to do with anything else. It's like people that are anti-Islam. Islam is a religion. Actually, an ideology to me, not a religion. And people that follow that religion are practitioners of Islam. So if you're anti-Islam, you're against that. But you're not anti-Muslim. You're not anti-white. You're not anti-Asian. You're not anti-European. You're not anti-African. That's race. See, race, ethnicity, race, not Islam. It's not racism. So, in words of someone that I used to think that was a really great person, which I don't think she is anymore because she's trash, but Gina Liano, the Real Housewives of Melbourne, she said something really good, and I will use the quote because it is a great quote. She's all, when people are just not getting something and not getting the point, snap the fuck out of it, people. Really, snap the fuck out of it.